Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Kristine. Today we're going to be learning something really cool and exciting. I'm sure you're going to be excited to learn this too. They're going to be smart phrases that you can use in daily conversation. Are you ready? Let's do this together. Okay, so smart phrases for daily conversation that begin with in. Now I know for a fact a lot of us have been told you can't use the word in at the beginning of a sentence, right? Especially in school. That's what they've taught us in textbooks. But in daily conversation, you can start a sentence with phrases that begin with the word in. Now I'd like to show you how. Okay, so let's start with the first phrase, which is in the light of. Sounds easy, right? What does in the light of mean? By considering something or depending on the situation. It's fairly simple. Now, based on something that happens, we say in the light of. Now, I'll show you an example that will make you understand this better. In the light of the given reports, the city will be overcrowded by 2030. Now, this is something, of course, in the long run that we're looking at, 2030. But in the light of, right, based on, usually we would say based on. Don't use the word based on. Instead, use in the light of the given reports, the city will be overcrowded by 2030. You can use in the light of depending on the situation that you want us to, highlight something on, right? That you want us to see and say, hey, in the light of, in this situation, in this case. All right, let's move to the second example, which is in the light of the advancement in technology, traditional cars will be replaced by electric vehicles soon, right? Now, based on the advancement, now usually we would say based, correct? Based on. Okay, don't judge my handwriting, but I would like to say remove such words. Don't use based on. If you use in the light of, and this is something we all are hoping for the environment and just for making life easy for everybody, correct? So now you know how to use in the light of. Do write it in the comments and tell us how you would like to use in the light of with a new sentence. Okay, let's move to phrase number 2. In the wake of. Now I know, it sounds a little similar to in the light of, but they are different. I'll show you how. Now, in the wake of means something happens because of some event, right? So there's a result of something happening because of what has happened. So let's see how we use this. In the wake of the increase in crime rate, the commissioner has formed a new task force. So why has the commissioner formed a new task force? Why? Because of the increase in crime rate. That's why we use in the wake of. So when you're using that, you're using, instead of saying because of, you're saying in the wake of. You'll have more clarity with the second example that I'm going to show you. In the wake of an increase in online fraud, the bank has introduced 3D security for online banking. Why has the bank introduced 3D security? Because of online fraud. Get it? So again, instead of using because, we don't need to use that word anymore. Get it out of your vocabulary and use in the wake of, which is a beautiful phrase you can use to make sense of something that happens because of something, which is a result of something. So do share examples of what you think you can use in the wake of, and we'd love to see that. All right, let's move to our next phrase, which is in this day and age. I have used this sentence so many times and I still use it, and I'm sure most of you have used it too. Now, what does in this day and age mean? In the current phase, okay, or in reference to the current decade. Now, decade means 10 years, right? Now, this is not about at this point of time, in this present moment, here and now. No, it means in the current phase, this particular phase, okay, that's going on reference to the current decade. I'm sure you've heard your parents use in this day and age a lot, correct? Now, I'll share examples with you so you get a better understanding. In this day and age of technology, communication is faster and better. Don't you all agree? I definitely think so. In this day and age. So when we say in this day and age, this is in reference to the past, correct? Now, in the past, technology and communication wasn't faster. It was almost non-existent. We all can actually just take our phone and do a video call and just talk to anybody across the world. I think that's amazing. Don't you agree? I'll share another example with you. In this day and age, the cost of living will only increase. How many of you can relate to this? Make a sentence with "in this day and age," and I'm sure there's so much you can share with us. We'd love to see that in the comments below. Okay, phrase number 4, in line with. Okay, not many people have used this, but if you start using this phrase "in line with," you will actually start sounding so much smarter and you'll feel better about using it. Now, what does "in line with" mean? Similar to something or in alignment with. In alignment means in line with as well, correct? Now, I'll share a few examples with you so you'll have a better understanding. The increase in salary must be in line with the inflation. This is what an ideal situation is, but it is not actually. But this is what we're trying to say. The increase in salary must be in line with. This is what we're hoping for. So it should be aligned. That means it should be balanced. So start using this sentence and you'll find a big difference when you use it. Now, the second example. The growth in the stock market is in line with the expectations. Now, that'll be the day, right? if the stock market is in line with our expectations, because if it is, we all are going to be making a lot of money. Okay, let's move to the next phrase. In the long run. This is something I'm sure we all have used at some point. You just didn't realize that it starts with in. Ta-da! Okay, now, in the long run. In the long run means a time far away in future, right? Now, this means it's not something that we're talking about tomorrow. We're not talking about next week. We're not talking about next month. We're talking about a time far away in the future. In the long run, okay? Let's share some examples where you get a better understanding. Now, education will always help you in the long run. Everybody must have stopped you and said, hey, wait. Let's stick to your education first because it'll always help you in the long run. In the long run means in your future, for your future. Now, I'll show you another example. This startup idea will succeed and grow in the long run. So this is also an expectation that this startup idea, it's just an idea, okay? But this startup idea will succeed and grow in the long run. Again, it is something that they're sure of that it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. So when something takes time, that's when you say in the long run. I hope you're able to understand these phrases. They're so simple. And if you're able to use them in your daily conversation, you know, people are going to come and say, wow, I like the way you put things across. Okay, so do share sentences that you can use all these phrases in. Let's move to phrase number 6. In the short run, which is just the opposite of in the long run. That's going to be fairly simple to understand now. What does in the short run mean? In a short duration or in the near future. Okay, so it's a shorter duration. Let's show you an example. Don't expect huge profits in the short run. Let's look at one more example. You have achieved great success in the short run. How cool is that, right? So again, we've used in the short run for something that was unexpected at this point of time. So it says you have achieved great success in the short run. Fairly simple to understand, and I'm sure you're following this, okay? Keep showing us what examples you can show us with these phrases. Now let's move to phrase number 7. In the true sense of the word, or in true sense of the word, right? You can use both ways. Now what does this mean? This means in reality or in actuality or something that is true and has no doubts, meaning you can't even say, hey, that's not true. So I'll show you an example. He's a gentleman in the true sense of the word, which means this person is a gentleman. That means he's chivalrous, right? In the true sense of the word. So in every way possible, That's what it means in every which way, and you can't deny the fact that he is a gentleman. That's why we're using this phrase in the true sense of the word. Now, the second example is, or you can say, he's a great actor in the true sense of the word, which means you don't even feel he's acting. You just look at him and say, wow, I love the way this performance is. You've realized it much later because you're so engrossed with the performance. So in the true sense of the word. So when we're saying he's a gentleman or a great actor, it means he really is. He's just justifying the fact that, yes, he is actually a gentleman. He's actually a great actor. So in the true sense, justifies the fact that this is what it is. Okay, now another example for y'all. This phone is futuristic in the true sense of the word. Now, there are new phones that have come up that you can actually fold and put in your pocket. Did you know that? Well, it's a fact. Now, just like that, it is futuristic, right? In the true sense, which means it is not existing currently, but it is futuristic. So, in the true sense, this is something we can't imagine. So literally, in the true sense of the word, it is futuristic. So I hope you were able to understand that. Let's move on to the next phrase, which is phrase number 8. In 2 minds over. Okay, what does this mean? Being indecisive, okay, or confused to take a decision, which means you're not sure about something. That's how we use the phrase in 2 minds over, and we'll use it in a sentence so you get a better understanding. I'm in 2 minds over taking up this job offer. Ria is in 2 minds over getting married. She thinks it might hamper her career growth. How many of you can relate to this? Okay, so in 2 minds means she's in doubt. She's quite doubtful about the fact about getting married because she's, weighing her pros and cons. So when you say in 2 minds over, it means you're contemplating, you're deciding, you're confused, you're in doubt. So that's when you can use this phrase, and this comes, of course, in the middle of a sentence, but it can be used very aptly. Okay, so let's move on to phrase number 9. In the midst of. I'm sure you know what this means. It's very simple. It means in the process of doing something. It means involved in. Mostly, it could be unpleasant at times, or it could be in the middle of, right? So instead of saying in the middle of, we say in the midst of. Now, I'll show you with an example. We are in the midst of starting our own company, which means we're in the middle, we're in the process. It's an ongoing process, right? So we're in the midst of starting our own company. It's a fantastic phrase you can use when you're doing something, in the process of something. And this will make it sound so much better. One more example here. The whole world was in the midst of the COVID wave last year. We all can relate to this, right? So we all were in the middle of, we all were in the midst of. Now, this is an unpleasant situation, like I explained earlier, that the whole world was in the midst of the COVID wave last year. So this is another sentence that you can use, and you can use these phrases according to the situation that you are currently going through. Okay. Let's move on to phrase number 10, which is in some. What does in some mean? Not some as in many. In some meaning to conclude something, right? To briefly cover all what was discussed. So that is like in conclusion, the sum of it all. Like in maths, right? We say the sum of it all, meaning the overall result, correct? Now, an example of this would be, in sum, this meeting was a waste of time. We couldn't reach a decision. So we are just trying to say the conclusion of it, at the end of it all, this meeting was a waste of time. Let's look at one more example. In sum, the country needs a new IT law to tackle abuse on social media, right? It's almost like a conclusion. Why are we making this conclusion? Because we all are aware of online trolling. We know what is going on online, right? Where there is something that people are just out there saying what they want and expressing what they want with no filters, correct? In sum is something that you can use in totality. Now, these were the 10 phrases, okay, starting with the word in. And I really hope you can start using them in your regular conversation. And do share your comments, share your examples with all of us so we know exactly how you're using them, and we will definitely respond to all of that. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson on the phrases starting with in. And my name is Kristine Zerek. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you for your next class.